Welcome back. You are listening to the Mario Mukwanda Show on Salam Media. Ponzi schemes are at the highest level in a decade. In 2019 alone, 60 alleged Ponzi schemes that raised more than $3 billion in investor funds were halted. We expect to see a similar number uncovered in 2020. Joining me on the line right now to discuss Ponzi schemes on the rise is the Secretary of the Direct Selling Association of South Africa, Imtiaz Ibrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Imtiaz, shukran for joining me.
Wa alaikum salam. Mariam, shukran for having me on your show. And assalamu alaikum to your listeners.
Alhamdulillah. All right, so let's start off by differentiating between a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme.
Well, I think the pyramid scheme is typically the scheme that's set up to entice people to join a company, and really the joining fee is the source of the commission or the bonus or rebate, whatever the company may choose to call it. Where your Ponzi scheme is slightly different. People invest money. They get returns. They get returns way, more than can be expected from other investments until let's call it the bubble bursts, and there's no money to pay out.
Mm-hmm. So, what do we need to be aware of when faced with a possible Ponzi scheme?
Well, I think the first thing is to verify the credentials of the company or enterprise with which one is planning to invest. If there's an international company that's got no local registration, doesn't belong to a self-regulatory body like the DSA, as an example, is not registered with SARS, doesn't have a local address. These are all red flags that potential investors should be very wary of.
Mm-hmm. How do these people find their clients?
On social media, it's very easy because it works. It spreads like wildfire, and then also word of mouth. Somebody's so excited about the first returns that they were paid out, and they then speak to friends or speak to friends, and before you know it, there's a whole community investing in the scheme.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen shows and watched movies of Ponzi schemes, and people would invest their life savings, their retirement funds, their pension funds, only to have the company closed down and moved elsewhere, which is such a shame. Have you heard about the WhatsApp gifting? And if so, what is your take on that?
Well, I think the thing is that we got to go back to the source. Again, look at the company, look at the product. When I say product, the scheme itself. If the scheme doesn't involve selling a product or a service, but yet one is earning a commission, there has got to be a question mark. So the fact that it's called gifting by itself, there's no free lunch. Returns will come from smart investment, good business acumen, hard work, and hard work is the ingredient. So when these ingredients are not present, one should be very wary about any scheme for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Older people are more for victim more to Ponzi schemes. So how can we encourage them to not fall victim to these Ponzi schemes and WhatsApp giftings and other pyramid schemes out there?
I think the first thing is that if it sounds too good to be true, there's a problem. In this day and age, money is hard to come by, and one needs to be investing well, working hard, understanding the market one is busy operating in or investing in, whatever the case may be, and money just doesn't come by in droves as many of these schemes promote. So that would be my first let's say caution. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If you believe you're going to be making a lot of money in a short space of time, uh, one needs to be very careful. If the return versus the investment is very disproportionate, and what I mean by that is, if one's starting to get high returns, double-digit returns, one needs to be very careful because those returns are not real and they can't be sustained, and inevitably that scheme is going to fall apart and the investors are going to be victims.
Mm-hmm. Where can people report a possible Ponzi scheme?
Well, our email address is admin@dsasa.co.za. Typically, the first thing we look at is the complaint about one of our member companies. One of the member companies of the Direct Selling Association of South Africa. We look at the complaint, liaise with the company, and get to the bottom of it. So, if the person is operating or investing with a member company of the DSA, we at least would assist the person if they had a complaint and ensure that they have been treated fairly. If the scheme or the company being reported is not a member of our association, we would then pass it on to the relevant government authority, be it the Department of Trade and Industry, be it the National Consumer Commission, just as a heads up. But inevitably, the individual would then also have to complain on an official basis to the relevant government authority.
Mm-hmm. And is it possible for the individual to get their money back, or is it gone for good?
Well, I think it all depends, how early in the process the person realizes that they are being scammed, and I think this is the big challenge because the scammers are very smart and they would pay out in the early stages until they have the investor so hooked, because then the investor in very many cases is cautious about reporting. If in case by them reporting, any chance that they can get money out of the scheme is then diminished. So the brutal answer is the chances of getting the money back is very slim.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that people take caution when looking to invest, and rather invest in companies that they know of instead of companies that just seem like, hey, I've got something here. Here's a product. Here's an idea. Invest my money, and this is how much you are going to get. Yeah. If it seems too good to be true, then it is probably not true. Shukran for your time, Brother Imtiaz, and have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.
Shukran. Jazakumullahu khair. Wa alaikum salam.
Brother Imtiaz Ibrahim, who is the Secretariat of the Direct Selling Association of South Africa, DSA. You can send an email to admin@dsasa.co.za if you found that you have been involved in a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme, anything like that. If you were a victim of those, then do contact them, and they will help you as best as they can. Um, Once again, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is not true. And don't fall victim to such Ponzi schemes, especially now since they are on the rise. And I know that things are difficult at home. You're trying to look for ways to make money. For those who already have money, perhaps trying to look for ways to invest, but do it the right way. Go through proper channels and don't go through Ponzi schemes, because you will probably be bawling out and crying out your eyes later on because of the bad decision that you made. Don't be that person. Do stay with us. We will be right back.